Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And by the STEPS 2023 National Health Survey. Visit gov.ky/steps to learn more. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees, so fair. Today is the 7th day of July 2023, Friday, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, we urge you to please be extremely cautious, whether you're a pedestrian or a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road. If you do so, then the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday, or if you celebrated one over the past few days, a belated happy birthday to you, and to remind you that the For the Record birthday shout-outs are proudly brought to you by More Than Words, your gateway to local books and more. Connect to your culture, tap into your roots. More Than Words, located on the second floor of the Thompson Building. And also, Pizza Boat, now open in Queens Court on West Bay Road. Hop on board the Pizza Boat Express. Pizza Boat makes pizzas even more fun. Pick up or delivery. Call 949-0000 or order online at www.pizzaboat.ky. Those of you who have lost loved ones, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing to you. Those of you who are ill and are at home or at a medical facility overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. This morning, back in the studio with us, that beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson. You can call us on our toll-free number, provide courtesy of Flow, that toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037, 949-6990. Email us, For the Record, one word, For the Record, at candw.ky. WhatsApp us, 925-3261. You can also call us from that number as well. Follow us on YouTube. You do that by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream, and we are also on Facebook as well. So, first of all, again, the birthday shout-outs this morning, proudly brought to you by More Than Words, your gateway to local books and more. Connect to your culture, tap into your roots. More Than Words, located on the second floor of the Thompson Building. And Pizza Boat, now open in Queens Court on West Bay Road. Hop on board the Pizza Boat Express. Pizza Boat makes pizza even more fun. Pick up or delivery. 949-0000, or you can order online through www.pizzaboat.ky. So let's see who's celebrating a birthday today. So we have Kerry Rochelle Christian. She's celebrating a birthday today. Also, Mr. Kendall Connor celebrating a birthday, and Renee Parsons also celebrating a birthday today. We have belated birthdays. We have Mr. David Cook, who celebrated his birthday yesterday. Big birthday shout out coming from all of your Daybreaker cycling friends as well. Belated happy birthday to Mr. David Cook. Miss Jennifer Watson, she will be celebrating her birthday on the 9th of July. Miss Gloria Glidden also celebrating her birthday on the 9th of July. Simone Scott also celebrating a birthday on the 9th of July as well. And again, want to give a big belated happy birthday shout out to Miss Sasha Ebanks, who celebrated her birthday earlier in the week as well. And we missed that one during the last week. Last week I was supposed to do that, and I missed out on that. So belated happy birthday going out to Miss Sasha Ebanks as well. So with that, folks, we're going to be talking about See Sunday. And if you are listening, or if you are following us on YouTube as well, no, it is not a repeat of Talk Today on Tuesday. It's not a repeat of that. We're here today. This is Friday, the 7th of July, 2023. In the studio with me again this morning, we have the pleasure of having Miss Merle McGann, who is the president of the Society of St. Vincent and de Paul. Also, Mr. Denniston Tibbetts, who's the president of the Cayman Islands Seafarers Association. They will be talking about Sea Sunday that will soon be celebrated in the Cayman Islands. So, folks, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning. Pleasure to be here again. Thank you.
Okay.
Good morning, O.C. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's talk about Sea Sunday and how it is celebrated in the Cayman Islands. Talk about the origins of Sea Sunday in the Cayman Islands, when it was introduced, how it was introduced, and then we can talk about the international celebration at some point in time, if time allows for that. But what we want to do is concentrate on what's happening locally, as far as Sea Sunday is concerned.
Right. So, as everybody now knows, this is our third Sea Sunday in the Cayman Islands. We, the Society of St. Vincent de Paul, in collaboration with the Seafarers, the Cayman Islands Seafarers Association, we put it on for you. Celebrate Cayman also supports us well. And Sea Sunday this year is on Sunday, this coming Sunday, July 9. We will gather at Seafarers Hall. It is not a public event. Is designed and planned and incorporated, so to speak, for seafarers, their wives, and families who represent seafarers who are deceased, right? You are a member of the Cayman Islands Seafarers Association, and Denniston will talk more about that in just a little while.
Okay. And the origins of celebrating Sea Sunday here in the Cayman Islands, you were directly involved with that. So, Ms. Merle, if you could speak to that as well.
I was indeed, with my colleagues who are members of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul in Cayman, which was formulated only in 2019. We are the last Caribbean country to be aggregated to the society. The head office is in Paris, founded in 1833, but we can go into that history later on if time permits. So I found out about it because of my travel experience, actually, and I presented it to my team, and wide open arms, we decided, yes, we would go ahead. So naturally, we approached the Seafarers, Denniston. Well, everybody knows now too. We're cousins, and you know, he as president of the Seafarers Association, obviously he was the right guy to talk to. So he brought along Fonzo. I'm the only person apparently who calls him Fonzo, but that's Fonzo, for Celebrate Cayman, and arms were opened very wide, and so we proceeded. The first one was excellent. It was also a learning experience. Then that was so good, we decided we would extend to all 3 islands. So last year, our second year, we went to the BRAC, and now we're back here in Grand Cayman for this weekend, and next year we will go to the sister islands again, and I have a list this long where people are asking that we go, in fact, to Little Cayman next time, but we'll have to work that out. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Timmons.
Well, thank you, Lucy. I think that it was a long time coming, actually, because I've always known that the International Day of the Seafarer is June the 25th, sorry. But when Merle brought it to my attention that St. Vincent de Paul, actually, they discovered this Sea Sunday. And in my research on the matter, they were formed 100 odd years ago.
Yep.
In the United Kingdom, by the churches. Well, the whole prospect of the Sea Sunday is that the churches set aside that day to pray and remember seafarers worldwide. So we adopted the same thing here, and the first one was at Lobster Pot, and we incorporated the Boys to Men.
Oh, yes.
With Reverend Murray. And it went so well that we took it to the BRAC last year. Myself and the Vice President went over, and it was fantastic. So we're growing from strength to strength. This year, so many people have asked me if they can come. I said, if you're a seafarer, you can come. It's not a public event. It's for seafarers only. So it's important that people remember that. But in recent times, since my tenure as president, the council, that is, has changed the law that we now accept adult children of seafarers. So you're eligible, even though you only had 9 months. So some of those will be there, because over the last 2 weeks I've been calling different people, that I think should be there. And we anticipate a good crowd, probably 150 people, and it's going to be a very, very nice remembrance. Pastor Van Kennel will be there to do the final prayer. And we recently incorporated in our council a chaplain who is from West Bay, and he will deliver the opening prayer.
Okay.
So we have a program that is geared mainly for seafarers. So it should be a wonderful time.
And there are going to be some prizes and surprises as well.
Oh yeah, that's Merle's department.
Let me tell you, as I wrapped all those gifts at my house, I did it myself in the middle of the night. It was like Christmas. So I decided to even use Christmas paper.
Wow.
But our sponsors have been absolutely wonderful. Again, arms can't open wider to receive our Sea Sunday celebrations. It's been absolutely fabulous.
Okay, we're going to take our first
And we have lots of prizes.
Great. We're going to take our first commercial break, folks. When we return, a conversation with Miss Merle McGann, who is the president of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul, and Mr. Denston Tibbetts, the president of the Cayman Islands Seafarers Association, will continue, so please stay tuned.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas.
Alfred Biddle Bawden, JP. Alfred Bawden was affectionately known as AB. He worked as a seaman for some years and sent money home to support his family. Upon returning from sea, he started his own business, a general store. He was also a farmer and butcher, cultivating various crops to provide for his family and help the poor, while also creating jobs for members of his community. He was elected vestryman for the District of Bordentown in 1948 and served 2 terms in the Assembly. He was one of the first merchants in Bordentown and the first in the island to obtain a liquor license. He traveled to Jamaica to sign the trade agreement to export thatch rope. A member of the Bordentown Church of God Chapel, he gave financial support to the churches of the district as well as to the less fortunate.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way, positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
I love Pizza Boat. It's yummy.
It has my 2 favorite things combined, cheese and boats.
Pizza Boat makes pizza way more fun.
Hop on board the Pizza Boat Express. Kids, now Pizza Boat makes pizza even more fun. Summer is here. Lunch or dinner, let Pizza Boat bring the fun. Pizza Boat, a Cayman twist to pizza, bringing fusion ingredients from all over the globe to give you locally inspired fresh pizzas all day, every day. Pizza Boat, now open in Queens Court on West Bay Road. Pick up or delivery 949-0000 or order online www.pizzaboat.ky.
More Than Words, your gateway to local books and more. Connect to your culture. Tap into your roots. More Than Words bookstore in the Thompson Building. Supplies local books, gifts, trinkets, keepsakes, wall plaques, and journals. The hub for local authors. More Than Words. So much more. More Than Words is now open. Shop number 4, 2nd floor, Thompson Building. Or call 936-5544.
Health behaviours and lifestyle choices such as diet and smoking can be risk factors for non-communicable diseases. The STEPS 2023 National Health Survey will allow the Ministry of Health and Wellness to gather important data on the health of the nation, including these risk factors. This information will inform our plans for the health needs of Cayman's residents, allowing us to better serve our population. Learn more by logging on to www.gov.ky/steps.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
No, man. I'm tired of seeing a new charge on my phone bill every month.
You are always complaining about that bill. I think it's time you make that switch to Digicel.
I've been with my network for more than a decade. I don't know if I want to move over now.
Well, better later than never. When you switch to Digicel, you get better speeds, more data, and simply more value. Best of all, no dishonest practices. What they say is what you get. Make that switch today and get 50% off your first 2 months.
50% off my first 2 months? Mary, you're convincing me now. Okay, I'll visit a Digicel store near me.
Experience the bigger, better network. Switch your postpaid number to Digicel for 50% off your first 2 months or get a free 30-day Prime bundle for prepaid customers. Make the switch today.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, we have Miss Merle McGann, the president of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul, and Mr. Denston Tibbetts, the president of the Cayman Islands Seafarers Association. We're talking about Sea Sunday, which will be celebrated here in the Cayman Islands this coming Sunday. It is an event that takes place. It will take place at the Seafarers Hall. It is not a quote-unquote public event per se, but Mr. Tibbetts will tell you those persons who are certainly eligible to attend in person, but also you have, Ms. Merle, you have issued reminders and notices to as many religious organizations as you could possibly reach for them to observe it as well. Can you talk a little bit about that for us?
Well, first of all, I just wanted to underscore it is a global event on Sunday. So it's not just in Cayman. We're just the most recent ones doing it. Oh gosh, I've gone a bit blank.
Alerting other religious organizations.
Every church that I could find an email for, I have sent emails to. All churches, all denominations are asked to set aside time on Sunday, globally that is, to pray for seafarers internationally. There's 1.5 million people working at sea right now, and some churches locally have responded. I know of at least 2 who are doing wonderful things on Sunday. I obviously can't mention them, but it's certainly what I've been told is it's, for want of a better expression, a really big deal, and I'm very pleased about that. So we're all together. Every church in every district in all 3 islands, you're asked to pray on Sunday for our seafarers. Show them gratitude. You know, prayer spreads. So our seafarers feel that spirituality, and I can tell you, and I'm sure Denniston will reiterate, our seafarers are so appreciative of what we're doing. I've seen many eyes full of tears. You know, I was in a restaurant eating by myself, having my lunch yesterday, and a seafarer comes and sits in front of me. He joins me, and he was in the BRAC actually. And, you know, he's telling me how wonderful it is. And, we'll have, the media too have come forward this year. So we will have good coverage on that. I don't know if Denniston can speak further on that.
Well, actually, the seafarers are all appreciative of what we're doing, but St. Vincent de Paul is a Catholic organization, and myself and Merle are both Catholics, so we will attend Mass at 11:45.
11:30.
11:30?
Yep.
I thought it was 11:45. 11:30 on Sunday, and immediately after that, we proceed to the Seafarers Hall. And the doors are open at 1, and the function starts at 1:30. And any seafarer can attend, and also adult children of seafarers.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a public event that,
all and sundry.
Yeah, carte blanche, everybody. It's not that. It's for seafarers. As a matter of fact, in the BRAC, we had so many prizes. We had the oldest seaman and the youngest, and all. Everybody won prizes. So it's a celebration, and we hope that. Well, we're hoping, God's willing, that this one will be the best so far. It's hard to beat the other two, but.
Well.
And we have to mention Reverend Murray again. He has a group of men young men. I think 14 to 18. They will be doing the serving, so the seafarers will be seated.
Yes.
Not only the ones who can walk and all that, but all of us will be seated. So the boys to men will be serving us, and that's a new thing that we've done. Reverend Murray, he was up there yesterday evening with me, and everything is going good. Simon is there from the drug council, and he's going to be showing the slides and all that. So it's going to be a fantastic day.
Yeah. St. Vincent de Paul does quite a lot of work with the guys at the National Drug Council in collaboration with the Boys to Men and Pastor Murray. So that's all good.
Yeah, and our thoughts and our prayers on that day should not only be with active seafarers, those who are out there on the seas, but those who are, retired as well. So the focus has to be, both ways.
And if I could,
and even those who are passed on.
Absolutely. And if I could please say, on Sunday, ladies, the wives of the seafarers, please come, because we have focused on the men before. But this year, as I said, I've got some beautiful prizes, lots of prizes, and we are going to be focusing on the women. The men too, and their random prizes as well. But I'd love to see the wives.
All the prizes are geared for women, but the random one for men.
No, not really. Some of the random is for ladies too, but I'd like to see the ladies who actually worked at sea. I would love to see you there. It's important that you're there. And we will make no bones about it. We will recognize the men as well.
I was only joking. But we also have to remember that you have to be there to win a prize.
Absolutely.
You have to be.
Yeah.
It's absolutely essential that you be there to. And they have it all worked out that as they come in, they sign a book. You're allotted a number, and that's given to you, and that's how the prizes will be drawn.
And the prize is at the end, so you have to be prepared to stay for the program.
Okay. Yes. So in the past, I think this is how. Sorry. This is the third year that we're celebrating Sea Sunday.
Yes.
And the attendance so far in those two previous years, how has it been?
Well, the first one we had 73 people, mostly, seafarers really. Last year in the BRAC, even though the VSS, the Veterans and Seamen Society of Cayman, BRAC and Little Cayman, we had 60.
Yeah, the members over there are dwindling because they have very few veterans left, mostly all seafarers.
But they are represented this year. Miss Liz Walton Thompson, she will be there on Sunday. And of course we also include the veterans, as Denniston has previously said.
Okay, so folks, we've reached the top of the hour. We have our 8 o'clock news. When we return, we will continue this discussion with Miss Merle McGann, the president of the Society of St. Vincent DePaul, and Mr. Denniston Tibbetts, the president of the Cayman Islands
Seafarers
Association. Right? So, yes. We'll have about another 15 minutes after the news, and the phone lines will be open if someone wants to call in as well. So, folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time now by Foster's is 7:59.
Well, Doc, I'm getting old. I'm out of shape, always on edge and off balance.
And how does it make you feel?
I guess it makes me feel like I should live better.
Here's my suggestion.
Are you saying I'm a blank piece of paper?
Turn it over.
Live well? Is this code?
No. Live Well from Foster's and CG Britk. A great resource on staying healthy, decluttering your mind, and managing stress.
Really? And it's free?
Really. LiveWell.Fosters.ky won't cost you a cent. This session, however, live well with Foster's and CG Britk.
Well, Doc, I'm getting old. I'm out of shape, always on edge and off balance.
And how does it make you feel?
I guess it makes me feel like I should live better.
Here's my suggestion.
Are you saying I'm a blank piece of paper?
Turn it over.
Live well? Is this code?
No. Live Well from Foster's and CG Britk. A great resource on staying healthy, decluttering your mind, and managing stress.
Really? And it's free?
Really. LiveWell.Fosters.ky won't cost you a cent. This session, however, live well with Foster's and CG Britk.
Continuing the Caymanian tradition.
Let Cora keep my ground so clean.
The heart and soul of the Cayman people. Thank you for keeping the culture alive.
Let's read the news every day. From East End to Georgetown, down into West Bay.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. Radio Cayman is getting unconfirmed reports of a spate of armed robberies overnight at 3 local businesses. We've reached out to the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service for details, so make sure to stay with Radio Cayman as we follow this developing story. At their June 27th meeting, Cabinet considered a plastic ban. According to a summary of the meeting, the first thing Cabinet did was approve the issuance of drafting instructions for a prohibition order under the Customs and Border Control Act. This is on the importation of single-use plastics into the Cayman Islands. They then turned to money matters, approving an increase of $125,000 to the budget for primary services and a $27,000 injection for the Ministry of Education by pulling $152,000 from the budget for the public schools meal program. Cabinet gave the green light for the permanent closure and vesting of a portion of a discontinued public road to the adjoining parcel in West Bay. This area is just north of the roundabout that splits West Bay Road and the Esterly Tippets Highway past Public Beach. Cayman's leaders also approved the Plant Protection Bill, as well as 8 new notaries public. The Cayman Islands government's cybersecurity office is encouraging residents to verify information they receive and not, quote, fall prey to sharing and spreading misinformation. This reminder comes in light of sponsored social media posts being circulated with false information that targets government officials in the Cayman Islands. The Cybersecurity Office is sharing some questions you can ask yourself and steps to take before resharing information and images via social media. These include, before you forward it, check your source and each fact individually. Ask yourself, could it be fake? If you're unsure whether it's true, don't share it, and be aware of emotional posts and think about biases. And the University College of the Cayman Islands study of perceptions about the workforce skills in the region has been published by the University of London. Radio Cayman's Felicia Rankin-Solids reports.
The Institute of Commonwealth Studies and the School of Advanced Studies at the University of London has published a research paper prepared by UCCI President and Chief Executive Officer Robert W. Robertson and Special Project Assistant at UCCI Peter Paul. The paper is titled Community Perceptions of Workforce Skills in the Caribbean. The research for the paper included a survey of 80 Rotarians across 8 islands in the region, as well as 12 semi-structured interviews. The Cayman Islands with 27 and Bahamas with 22 had the most respondents. Almost 80% of respondents were identified as senior managers in their companies, and the largest responding group was the financial services sector. Approximately 45% of respondents suggested that their workforce was not globally competitive. In fact, most respondents, 51%, stated that lower literacy and numeracy skills of candidates represent significant challenges in hiring employees. Many firms identified the need to upskill new employees to meet their requirements. In terms of the top challenges facing business with respect to local recruitment of employees, respondents noted limited qualified pool of candidates, a lack of job-ready skills such as soft skills like IT, and technical and vocational trade skills. Finally, 64% of respondents suggest that the regional skills gap has grown post-pandemic and that addressing the skills gap is important for companies and countries as they build competitive advantage in today's global economy. Dr. Robertson notes that understanding the evolving needs of business and society is important for the education sector, with universities needing to adapt. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Julie Candler. The global shipping industry has agreed to reduce emissions of planet-warming gases to net zero by or around the year 2050, taking varying national circumstances into account. Small island states welcome the deal. The German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock has voiced her opposition to the use of cluster munitions in Ukraine after reports in the US said Washington was planning to supply Kiev with the controversial weapons. Humanitarian organizations have also urged both Russia and Ukraine to avoid using the munitions that can kill indiscriminately. The American Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has told the Chinese Premier Li Qiang that the U.S. is seeking healthy and fair competition with China and not a winner-take-all approach. Mr. Li suggested the U.S.-China relationship could be recovering. He said he could see a rainbow after a period of wind and rain. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com. Are you tired of waiting in long lines at the pharmacy just to fill a prescription?
If what, child, let me tell you.
Well, now you can save time and money with ValueMed's online prescription service. Visit ValueMed's new website, valrx.com, and click the Refill Subscriptions button. Fill in your information and choose your preferred pickup location. Or email your prescription refills for ValueMed Walkers Road at rx-wr@valrx.com, and for ValueMed in Boddentown, email rx-bt at valrx.com. Say goodbye to the hassle of waiting in lines and hello to the convenience of online prescriptions with ValueMed Pharmacy. Visit valrx.com to place your orders today.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Another fun day on good old 7 Mile Beach. Now let me check. I have sunscreen, music, water, bull and cheese, grapes, swanky, towel. Towel? I forgot my towel at home. Oh no!
Girl, you talking to yourself again? But I thought I just heard you say that you forgot your towel at home. Look, just run down to Super Stitch Sewing and Fabric Center at shop number 39, Pasadora Place on Smith Road, and pick one up. I hear they have lots of beach towels for just $7. They used to be at $14, but now Miss Monica knows selling them for half price.
Maxine, you're a rock star. Keep my spot, child. I soon come back.
Yes, you try call Super Stitch right now. 949-2833.
Yo, big up Massive. Listen up, we got some good news for you. Digicel is bringing you the hottest deal in town. Send top up hassle-free to Jamaica with the My Digicel app. No fees for a limited time. Me people, it's pure love from Digicel. Send credit from the My Digicel app, any kiosk, or go to a Digicel store and show your loved ones in Jamaica you care. They will stay connected, chat, and stream without them fees. Spread the word. This is a big deal. Tell your mother, father, uncle, auntie, brother, sister, and friend. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Send top up to Jamaica today. Digicel, the ultimate connection.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit Digicel's website or contact customer support for more info.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 84 degrees. Relative humidity is 78%. The barometric pressure is 29.97 inches and rising. The wind is east at 5 knots. Overnight low temperature was 82 degrees. Synopsis indicate isolated showers is expected over the Cayman area this morning in association with the remnant moisture from a tropical wave west of the area. Radar images show isolated showers in and around the Cayman area moving towards the west. The forecast for today, calling for partly cloudy to cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers, and temperatures today will be in the low 90s with a heat index of 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be easterly, 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Tonight, pretty much the same, partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers, and temperatures dipping to the upper 70s tonight. Winds will be east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. High tide will be this afternoon at 4 minutes after 1, low tide again tonight at 8 minutes past 7. The sun will set this evening at 6 minutes after 7 and will rise tomorrow morning at 5:54. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Sunday morning.
Hi, my AC just went out and I need someone to come fix it.
I'm sorry, we're closed.
Okay, what about tomorrow?
We're only open on Thursday. And we're fully booked.
Have anything next week?
No.
Okay, when can you send someone out?
The 22nd is open.
I'll take it.
Of December 2023.
With the best medical cover for your dollar, we're like an AC technician who isn't too busy for you. CG Britcay. Good like that.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by Encourse Cayman. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Change your thinking. Change your life. Developing the giver's mindset can bolster any relationship.
As motivational speaker Tony Robbins said, some of the biggest challenges in relationships come from the fact that most people enter a relationship in order to get something. They're trying to find someone who's going to make them feel good. In reality, the only way a relationship will last is if you see a relationship as a place that you go to give and not only a place that you go to take.
Change your thinking. Change your life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by Encourse Cayman. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming.
Just know you are not alone. On-Course Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualifying team. On-Course Cayman. Health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Good morning once again. Let's take a look this time at traffic. Coming off of Barbara Thompson Way, steady traffic as well as on Huldah Avenue. As we look to Edward Street, flowing nicely. Into Georgetown on Chedmore, looking pretty good as well. Godfrey Dixon Way and Eastern Avenue, traffic is moderate in both directions. A little steady traffic coming from the east and Crew Road heading to Georgetown, and eastbound traffic on Crew Road is moving along moderately. Linford Pearson Highway and Shamrock Road flowing moderately in both directions. On the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is flowing at good pace. Coming off of the Esterly Tibbetts Highway, there's steady traffic. Northtown Road, moderate flow of traffic. From the West Bay four-way stop, moving along pretty good. And on Owen Roberts Drive, traffic is light to moderate. That's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 o'clock. We'll give you another traffic report. Have a good morning and drive safe.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. This summer, I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, and now Panama. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old girl this summer.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you want to go scuba diving on your vacation, don't bedazzle your wetsuit. And you think you look great, but what you don't realize is that you look like a shiny, scaly fish. And it won't take long for a shark to notice you. Next thing you know, you're busting out every karate move you got. But if you're smart, you'll have CG medical insurance and get airlifted out to the closest hospital.
Get coverage for emergency evacuations. CG Brit-K. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Are you feeling sick but don't feel ill enough to go to the doctor? Ask your pharmacist for advice. Here at West Bay Pharmacy, our pharmacists have been trained to offer helpful, easy-to-understand advice on the treatment of everyday minor ailments for yourself and all the family. Anything from headaches, cough, and sore throat to cold sores, our pharmacists will know when medical help is needed and will not hesitate to refer you to your doctor if your symptoms demand it. Like doctors, our pharmacists have a professional code, which means all personal information you give them will be treated in the strictest confidence. Visit us today at West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have another 12 minutes or so with our first panelist this morning. They are Miss Merle McGann, who's the president of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul, and the president of the Cayman Islands Seafarers Association, Mr. Denniston Tibbetts. We're talking about Sea Sunday that is celebrated worldwide, will be celebrated the second Sunday in July, so that's this coming Sunday. They're talking about that as well, so I'm going to pass the mic over to them. Go right ahead, folks.
Thank you, Lucy. I just want to remind the seafarers who will be attending that I'm asking them to wear their seafarers shirts and whatever medals they have and whatnot. Also,
that would be nice.
Huh?
That would be very nice.
Yeah. Also, we'll have a regular program of ringing the bell, singing the national song or national anthem, because we have a new king now instead of a queen, so we have to do all of that. But it's very important that everyone wears, even the adult children, they have T-shirts. Please wear them, seafarers shirts. It's going to be a good program.
Can I just say, this is not a program for little kids, okay? The adult children of seafarers, fine, but don't bring your 3-year-old child because there's nothing prepared for them. They'll be bored out of their mind.
And they'll bore everybody else. They're crying and all that.
Yeah, so it's not for the little ones.
Understood, yeah.
Mr. Tibbetts?
Well, I have initiated calling quite a few seafarers, but in case I don't call you, that doesn't mean you can't come, right? Because it takes a little while to call everyone, and a lot of people, they don't work anymore. They're old, older than me, and they don't wake up. I have a friend in the BRAC. Every time I call him, he said, "Don't call me until 11 o'clock in the day, because I don't wake up early anymore." So the people who I have not called, you're still invited. Please come, because we're catering for at least 150 people.
No, we're catering for 150 people, not at least. So you got to get there on time.
But it's not a public. we have to keep reiterating that it's not a public event. It's for seafarers.
So.
And as far as the book launch goes, your panel will come next and they'll explain all of that.
All of that as well, yes.
Yeah. And by the way, Mrs. Susie Soto indeed will be with us on Sunday.
Excellent. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. We have a caller? Okay. We have a caller. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hi, OC.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. And Miss Merle and Mr. Denniston, good show this morning, and I'm looking forward to Sea Sunday, and hope that all of our seafarers that are members of the association or seafarers would come out and celebrate, because this is for our seafarers, and God has been good to them.
And while I have you, Miss Zita May, I'll let the public know Miss Zita May is St. Vincent de Paul's secretary, and she is also our photographer, so she'll be getting lots of pictures for you.
And she's the adult child of a seafarer.
Exactly. And we were actually going to be showing slides of the past two Sea Sundays that we've done, and those are pictures that were done by Miss Zita May.
Okay. Ms. Zita May, I think both of you may have been speaking at the same time there, so you may want to repeat what you were saying before.
Okay. Yes, I was just saying that I hope that the seafarers would come out and that all the churches would celebrate Sea Sunday, because our seafarers have done so much to put Cayman on the map. And our financial services was started by seafarers going away and sending home their allotment. So we want to celebrate them, and we thank God for them. So we ask the churches to please celebrate Sea Sunday.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Very important. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Those allotments mean a lot. they meant a lot those days, and
Oh yes. On Tuesday I spoke about it. I think I heard it was $110 per month. But you made more in overtime than you did on your base salary.
If it wasn't for overtime, then it would not have been worthwhile to go. But the overtime was more than the actual monthly pay.
Yes.
So well, in my day, you had to sign when you got on the ship. The captain would make you sign that an allotment would go to whoever, whether your sister, or your mother, or your grandmother, or whatever. Mine went to my mother, we all lived in Jamaica at the time. And as I said on Tuesday, when I got home, that first trip that I made was 13 months. When I got home, I was a rich man. Because my mom had saved everything.
Those days, yeah.
On Sunday, also during the meal, we're going to have the microphone open that any seafarer who wants to get up and talk, they will be able to come tell us whatever stories they want to tell us. And government ministers, both ministers and opposition have been invited, I know, but cannot mention that at least one will be there. He'll be free to speak as well during the meal.
Okay, so anything about transport, Mr. Denstone? We know that some of your functions do take place at night, and sometimes that presents a challenge to some of your members, and you do provide transportation then,
It's worth mentioning, too, that the guy who has come on board, well, we've used various people for West Bay, but the guy who has recently come on board, he's actually doing it free of cost. It's unbelievable. And the same thing with East End. The MP for East End there, Isaac Rankin. He has a bus that he allows his driver every time we have a meeting to pick up the guys from East End, North Side, and on the way down, some people in Bordentown. So we all have But the guy from East End, I couldn't get him. I don't know, something wrong with his phone. But one of the seafarers came in yesterday, and I asked him, and he said yes, he would contact him and make sure that everything is fine.
Okay. We have about 5 minutes left, but we do have one caller, so we're going to squeeze the caller in before I give you an opportunity for some closing comments as well. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yes, good morning. Am I?
Yes, you are. Go right ahead.
Blessings to you, Mr. Ote. This is D.L.E. Banks. I wanted to be to that event so much, but I'm going to celebrate it down in the United States since it's an International Seafarers Day. I'm taking my conch shell down there too. With the blowing of the conch shell, that hopefully Mr. Ray Banker will be able to do a real good performance there. And it makes me so proud just to be a seafarer, and I'm one of the younger ones. But it is just so important that we get the recognition for the accomplishments we did. And, we're getting older now, and we really, put a lot into building Cayman to what it is. And the seafarers really need to be honored in so many ways, and just respected and thought of. And I'm just so proud to be part of the association, and it's so good for Cayman. It does so many things for so many people.
Okay.
We just need to lift them up in every way we can.
Thank you very much, caller, for that. And no better way to lift them up, people up, than by prayer and celebration of the Master as well. Right. So we want to thank that caller as well. Folks, an opportunity for some closing comments. Who wants to be last?
I'll be first because I want to make sure I say this. One thing that I do need to have very clear: everything that we at the Society for St. Vincent de Paul is doing, we are all 100% volunteers. None of us gets paid in any way, okay? It's the joy of serving that pays us then, let's say, because money can't buy that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so
Mr.
Mr.
Tibbetts.
Denniston, there you
Well,
go.
I would also like to say, contrary to what people believe, the council and the president of the Seafarers does not get paid. The only person that gets paid is the office manager, because she does all of the work. So the misconception that I remember somebody saying, "Oh, you make all that money," blah blah.
Yeah.
I do not.
Exactly.
We do not have any any remuneration.
Neither
nothing.
current nor past presidents.
Right.
Nor future.
Well, hopefully not.
Same with the Society of St. Vincent de Paul. We do not get paid.
On behalf of St. Vincent de Paul and the Seafarers, I would like to thank you so much for accommodating us both on Tuesday and today.
Yeah.
And I can only say that every time that I've ever called to try and get onto to your show or Sterling's show, I've always been welcome. So thank you all so much, and the pleasure has been ours, and we look forward to a fantastic Sunday afternoon at 1:30 at the Seafarers Hall.
1 o'clock. Arrive at 1 o'clock. Doors
Yeah, the
open
doors
at
open at 1.
1.
And
By the time we settle, it'll be 1:30.
We know that everyone who will attend will certainly enjoy themselves as well. So have a great day, folks. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we have some very, very interesting news for you, and lots to share with you as well. I won't tell you who the guests are. I think we may have gotten a little sneak preview of it, but please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone, and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
It's a 24-karat summer with Digicel. In honor of our first truly COVID-free summer, Digicel is giving away $24,000. Be one of 10 to win $2,400 this July. For a chance to win, all you have to do is switch to Digicel, activate a Prime bundle, or simply pay your bill on time. It's that easy. It takes 2 minutes to get $2,400 richer. Make the choice to win today and visit a Digicel store near you.
Are you ready for a midsummer miracle? Get ready for the Christmas in July sale at Tortuga and discount retail stores. All July, Tortuga is bringing exclusive Red Dot deals in store. Discover incredible savings on selected items that will make your summer merrier. But hurry, the Red Dot deal is available while stock lasts during regular store trading hours. Don't miss the once in a summertime offer to save on your favorite beverages and more with Christmas in July. Visit a Tortuga and discount retail stores near you.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. This summer, I going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline. Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, and now Panama. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal this summer.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Calling all bargain hunters. There's a huge dollar garage sale at 137 Katura Street off Walkers Road, Saturday, July 8th, 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. Clothes and shoes and house items all for $1. Yes, you heard me right. $1 garage sale. Other items for sale. New pair of Louboutin stiletto shoes, $900 US. New Burberry handbag, small, $700 US. New Burberry tube top and pants, $1,600 US. 5 yards landfill, only $400. New 2022 white Honda HDR includes 3-year warranty, 5-year licensed, and 6 free services. This Saturday, 137 Katura Street off Walkers Road, $32,200 OBO. For more information, call 925-2705.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have some new guests in the studio with us. One is no stranger to Radio Cayman, and the other is the president of the Cayman Maritime Heritage Foundation and also the president of the Cayman Islands Catboat Club, Mr. Jerris Miller. Mr. Miller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, Mr. Miller. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C., and thank you so much for having us.
And our own Radio Cayman's Mr. Loxley Bank in the studio with us, but you can also tell us, your other official designations as well, Mr. Loxley.
Well, I'm not sure I got any official designation. I'm just a lucky boy on deck. Lox is a bit modest there. He's an historian extraordinary for us. He does a great job.
Excellent. Okay, so tell our listening and viewing audience, what we're going to be discussing this morning, this beautiful book and its launch, and we're going to talk about the contents, of it as well. We can talk about the trials and tribulations, the challenges that you had while preparing this, publishing it, and everything. We're going to put the whole story out there, but the important part is the launch, people supporting that launch, and people being able to have a part of our heritage as a keepsake for generations to come as well. Mr. Miller.
It's we're here to discuss our recently published book, The History of Turtlers and Schooners of the Cayman Islands, on the 15th of this month, which is next week, Saturday, between 5 and 7 at the Cayman Turtle Center. It's appropriate that it be at the Cayman Turtle Center since the book is about turtlers and schooners of the Cayman Islands. The book has a long history and a long road to get to where we are. We started this 23 years ago.
Wow!
And this I brought to demonstrate the history. I brought this was the first manuscript that we completed in 2003.
You can hold it up. And the cameras will pick it up.
It says Cayman Maritime Series, Cayman Turtlers, and this is the third in the series that we've done with history, including the Catboat book and the Low Sail, sponsored by Cayman Maritime Heritage Foundation. And we've kept it for historical documentation because it has handwritten edits in it. It was ready to go to the press in 2003. Well, it was getting close there, but then Hurricane Ivan came, so we had to rebuild our clubhouse in town, so it got shelved for a number of years while we collected some more information. And then 4 years ago, we picked it back up, and Miss Susan Soto was chaired our publishing committee, and who's worked tremendously hard to bring it to where it is now. There's been a lot of trials and tribulations getting it funded, but I really want to mention the Ministry for Youth, Sports, Culture and Heritage and the Honourable Barney Bush, because we were at a stage where the printing was funding the printing was becoming difficult because of the size of the bill. And the Honourable Barney Bush, stepped up and with their contribution, we were able to find the rest of the money to get it to the printers and get to where we are today. So I want to just take a minute and thank him personally for his help, and the whole department in there. I mean, over the years. So thank you, Bernie. So that's where we get today. We've got our book, and we're really excited about it. It's not a history book as you may be used to reading, in that it doesn't necessarily flow on a timeline or anything. It's a compilation of stories from actual mariners and events that happened, and the research that we could do surrounding those. So it's a collection of stories in the book, and I think that makes it more interesting, because to hear the perspective of the people who lived it is a little different than an editor or an author taking this information and putting it into my words or whatever. So we try to keep it authentic to the way it came from the people, and there's some amazing stories in there.
Okay. Do you want to? Would you like to give us some examples of some of the stories, and some of the persons who penned these stories as well? Yeah.
You'll see a story in this of the loss of the Majestic.
Yes,
Captain
that was
Laurie.
a huge. Yes,
Captain Laurie, written by another sea captain who was actually in the storm. This was a boat that was lost with everybody on board, and it took down somebody that was considered like the best, the best from Cayman at the time. Captain Laurie was it, and it's so emotional. This is a letter that we found that he wrote to the administrator at the time, to record the history, and it was done by Austin Conley Drive in East End. He had a brother that was a seaman, and that's who related the story down. And there's tons of stories in this, like that of cases, of that actually happened. With the boat building, the design and construction and stuff, we looked for things that came from the people who were in there, not necessarily from a second or third generation person. So we a lot of the stuff that we put in, it's a bit raw. You may consider it,
yeah,
but it's important that we capture it that way, because the history is always normally recorded in the eye of the recorder, from the light of the recorder. We try to avoid that where possible, but I hope the readers appreciate what we're actually doing with it.
And it is relatively easy reading as well. How useful will this be, and in terms of having it in our educational institutions, and how important is it to have this actually documented, as opposed to things that are communicated verbally, and during the course of that communication, things get lost in the translation, but you have referred to documents and to letters and things that you actually had access to. How informative this compilation of these stories will be, in terms of our education process?
I think extremely informative. In fact, we think so informative that we have dedicated 100 of these books free of cost to the education department. Wow. So we want them to get out to the school. We have books for the libraries, etc., that we put into the budget. I've funded this book not from the sales, but actually from donations on the outside, which is what allows us to do this. While you all in a charitable organization wants to make back the money that you spent, in this case, that's not the most important objective here at all. We're really looking for this to get widespread in the community. The book is available for $45, and we know that everybody who wants one will want to buy one, but we want to be dedicated. On the launch, we will be given 100 there, and with the commitment that more available if the demand is there in the schools. We want to fill that demand more so than fill the commercial. The guy that's you might want to pay $45, and I might have 2 books, and I'll tell you, well, these are for the Northside School or whatever. So I just want people to bear that in mind. But we will be able to reprint and supply, but it's so important that it gets into the schools. I've used the same format on this book that we used on the Catboat book, Love's Dance, where we put it out there sort of the way we got it, rather than editing it down. Okay, and with that one, I thought it was a little too colloquial when it came, but everybody loved it, and they love hearing from the people themselves on it. So we sort of kept that same format in this one in terms of every chapter is a different story.
Okay, Mr. Loxley, we want to hear from you, but rather than having to interrupt you after 1 minute of talking, we're going to take that commercial break now. When we return, we will hear from Radio Cayman's Mr. Loxley Banks. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. This summer, I going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, and now Panama. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal this summer.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Hey, is your phone slow, overheating, and dropping important calls? Don't fret. This summer, it's time to flip out with Digicel. Introducing the all-new Samsung Flip 4 with its sleek design and cutting-edge features. You'll flip into the summer in style and confidence. This summer, you can grab the all-new Samsung Flip 4, all just for $145. Flip into the summer with Digicel. Visit a Digicel store near you and grab the all-new Samsung Flip 4 and the amazing 7-day Prime Ultra plan today. This Saturday, July 8th at 4 p.m., come out to the It's Time Praise Gospel Concert at the Georgetown Seventh-day Adventist Church on Smith Road, beside the hospital, featuring Tanique Dunbar, Stephanie Graham, Nicola Williams, Keela Woods, Carol Robinson, Touch of Faith, the Celestines, along with Clyde Kane, O'Neal Duncan, Lincoln Charles, and many more. Get ready to praise. Admission free of cost. See you there.
Why replace when you can respray? At Granite Express Cayman, we can completely transform your old kitchen cabinets with a fresh kitchen respray for just a fraction of the cost of buying new ones. Big news! Our summer special promo is here. We are offering kitchen countertop specials up to 50 square feet installed for only $1,595 CI for granite and $1,895 for quartz. We can make your dream kitchen come true and at a price to suit all budgets. Call 922-0424 for a free estimate, friendly service, fast installation. Hurry! Limited time only while supplies last. Visit graniteexpresscayman.com.
For the record, Record with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the Record with Orrett Connor continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Mr. Jerris Miller, who is president of the Cayman Islands, Cayman Maritime Heritage Foundation, as well as the Cayman Catboat Club. We're talking about the history of turtlers and schooners of the Cayman Islands. Has just been published. The launch, we're talking about the launch that has taken place this Saturday at the Turtle Center. Also in the studio with us, we have our own Radio Cayman's Mr. Loxley Banks, but of course, he's a jack of all trades, involved in many things cultural and historical in the Cayman Islands as well. So we're going to pass the mic over to Mr. Loxley. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, O.C. And right to the book, Turtlers and Schooners, and this is a 312-page book about turtlers and schooners in the Cayman Islands. And of course, there's some subplots to this also. The catboat, Cayman Catboat, comes in with a big play in turtlers and schooners because the catboats actually serviced the schooners from the perspective of turtles, catching turtles and bringing them to market. And many people may not realize it, but turtlers, schooners, catboats, and the old salties were the lifeblood economically of the Cayman Islands for many, many years before the advent of financial services and tourism and all these other things. It was the lifeblood of the Cayman Islands, and it's basically all of what we see here today was built on. Mm-hmm. Exactly. This was the foundation, and to think of our forefathers going out there on a little sandbar, spending weeks and weeks fishing for turtles, wrestling these 400-pound turtles, 300-pound turtles into small boats from their nets. It's pretty hard to really think about them doing this, but they did it for many, many, many years. And I think this book is a beautiful historical minuscule, really, because we could not cover the whole scope of what turtlers, schooners, catboats, and the old salties, the seafarers, contributed, and what they did actually from, I guess, just the late 1700s was when the turtles and so forth became really important in our economy at that time. And but there's lots of stories that has been gathered over the years, and like Jairus mentioned, these are stories that you can call them first-hand stories. They came from people who lived it and who brought stability and set the foundation for the Cayman Islands that we see here today. Mm-hmm. And not, many people don't realize it, but as I said before, turtlers, schooners, and of course, added with that was the actually shark hides and turtle skins, and this yes. is all fall in the same cup, the same corral, were all great big contributors to our island's economy and setting the foundation that we have here today. And this was long before, the Southwell years or the other seafarers that went abroad sailing on U.S. ships. Actually, I think that era in our maritime history where, men from Cayman would go and sail on U.S. ships actually started in the early 18th or early 19th century. Of course, there were Cayman schooners that was plying all over, the eastern U.S. states, carrying cargo and passengers too. So it's
this was before the national bulk and the Inagua lines and all of those predated all of that.
The banana supply and some of the other small companies, Swanee, which contributed greatly. They they employed a lot of seafarers back in the early the early part of the 19th century, and some of the names there: Captain Cromwell, who is like the Commodore of the Swanee fleet. There was actually, and this was in the mid 20s and 30s. There was another captain, Sam Parsons, who was Commodore, and this was getting into the modern era of the Texaco fleet. Now, Texaco, one of the biggest oil companies, is still today in the world, and they had a fleet of tankers. They must have had probably 50, 60 tankers one time, carrying the oil all over the world. And this Captain Sam Parsons was Commodore of the Texas fleet, they called him. And and be it known, he probably started out in Mosquito Key. I'm sure he did. So that's the way it transitioned up. In fact, one of my cousin Cromwell was Ebanks was his last name, but they changed it to Cromwell. Told me that's where he started, and he wound up chief engineer on some of the biggest ships that sailed. In fact, he told me a story, and this was after the war, during the when they had the Marshall Plan going, where there was lots of ships shipping between the U.S. and Europe, but he was in Alexandria, Egypt, on a trip, and he said he stepped off the ship, going ashore, and he said to myself, well, I don't think I'm going to see any Caymanians here. He said, lo and behold, up in front of him, the other ship, when he was approaching, Mr. Norberg Thompson was walking off the gangplank.
Wow.
So, this is the scope of the Cayman seafarer, and which relates right directly back to the turtlers and the catboats, and I think, and we got to give Jairus and Susie both a lot of credit to really trying to keep this thing stirred and moving along in the slow boil, and sometimes maybe no boil at all, but fast boil, moving it forward. And Jairus, really, when you come to the catboat, he was the one that sort of kept this little flame moving along many years ago, along with your cousin there in our side, Harry Chisholm.
Copperville's catboat.
Yeah. Harry maintained a catboat for a long time, and I guess 25 years ago. Jairus said to me, they were having something in the West Bay National Trust, and we connected up, and he said, "You want me to bring the catboat down?" I said, "Yeah, we'll bring it down. We see what the result is." We brought it down, and we couldn't get it out of the water at sunset because people wanted to
ride in it. Yes,
and we didn't even have a proper sail.
And they'd never seen a catboat before. In Cayman.
And one of our big moments, in the Scout Association was when King Carl Gustav the 16th came to the Cayman Islands, and Mr. Kem Jackson took him out in the North Sound. Yes.
You know what he told Mr. Kem? There was the yacht club had their boats out there. He says, "Why are those people sailing in those plastic boats? Then you have this boat." And Mr. Kem, so he said to him, when he got further out, he said, "Well, listen, sir, I'm on your time, so let me know when you want to turn around." He says, "Keep on going, young man." He really enjoyed that.
Yes.
But to give you a little perspective with the book, with the history, to interrupt in there, you'll see a chapter in the book about ships that were built over a 7 to 5 year period from the mid 1800s to right up to like 26 in the 20s. There's a list in here of over 300 schooners. These were that were built in the Cayman Islands. These are not all of them. These are ones that were registered.
Okay.
If you do the arithmetic, that's 4 schooners per year for 7 to 5 years.
Wow.
That's $1 billion a year business today. And we exported these all over the world. Norway, Central America, North America, South America. One of the examples that's left is the Western Union in Florida. Okay? they came here to get that boat built, not because they didn't have the expertise to do it in the States. It was made down here, taken apart, taken back up to Key West, and this is a story that's in the book, and put together there because at the time Western Union was owned by the U.S. government, and all of they had something with their neighbor thing. All of their ships had to be built in the United States.
Yes.
So they had to go back up and lay the keel down the arches and build this Western Union up there. First cable laying ship in the world. It laid the cable from Tampa to Key West, which was the first one ever under the sea, and from Key West to Havana, which was the second one. So that's the kind of impact we had on the maritime industrial.
And how would they have been aware of the shipbuilding skills of Caymanians? Was it through the vessels plying the waters and they becoming familiar with them?
Plying the whole eastern seacoast. People are amazed at when you research the connection between Maine and the Cayman Islands 150 years ago. But it's because they had to come down to get the salt, Turks and Caicos Islands or whatever, for the codfish. And then they had to go around and catch the Gulf Stream to get back up to Maine. So they had to come by Cayman, which is the last signpost. And Cayman has been that important since I have a map from 1503 that shows the Cayman Islands in the right place with a compass rose. It has Jamaica like a blob and everything, but it shows because that once you sighted the Cayman Islands, you could set a course for any port in Central America that the Spanish owned, and you could clear Cuba to get around because you couldn't get back to Europe unless you took the Gulf Stream north where the wind was blowing back towards Europe. So they were always important.
Okay, we reached top of the hour, folks. Headline news. When we return, the conversation with Mr. Jerris Miller and Mr. Loxley Banks will continue, so don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Follow Radio Cayman on Twitter. All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Follow us at twitter.com/Radio Cayman.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Health Services Authority.
Radio Cayman has gotten unconfirmed reports of a series of armed robberies that took place overnight at 3 local businesses. Radio Cayman is awaiting further details from the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, so make sure to keep it locked. Deforestation in Brazil's Amazon fell by 33% in the first 6 months of President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva's term compared with the same period in 2022. It suggests the rainforest shrank by more than 2,600 square kilometers this January to June, down from almost 4,000 square kilometers in those 6 months last year under President Bolsonaro. The released government satellite data has not been independently verified. Lula has pledged to end deforestation or forest clearance by 2030. And U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen criticized Chinese curbs against U.S. firms while on a diplomatic visit to Beijing to improve bilateral ties. Washington and its allies will fight back against Beijing's, quote, unfair economic practices, she said today. Ms. Yellen also struck a conciliatory note saying the U.S. seeks to diversify rather than decouple from China. Her visit follows that of Secretary of State Antony Blinken as the U.S. and China resume talks amid tensions. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
The Headline News are brought to you by Health Services Authority.
The Health Services Authority has over 120 world-class physicians offering the most comprehensive range of specialist services on island. Our dedicated team of professionals provide the highest quality care in orthopedics, interventional radiology, women's health, geriatrics, and a host of other specialist areas. We are a JCI-accredited organization with a proven record of excellence. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you. For more information, visit hsa.ky.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It's my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Mr. Jerris Miller, who is the president of the Cayman Maritime Heritage Foundation, as well as the president of the Cayman Catboat Club, and Mr. Loxley Banks, our own Radio Cayman historian and jack of all trades as well. Before we go back, pass the mic back over to them, I have a birthday shout out here that I want to share with you as well. And there's some belated happy birthday greetings going out to Miss Paula Scott's, her grandson who's in the United Kingdom, Devante Shadike Miles, who celebrated his 21st birthday on the 5th of July. So Mr. Devante Shadike Miles celebrated his 21st birthday on the 5th of July, and sending all my love as always, and be blessed. Celebrate so that you can celebrate more happy birthdays as well. And that's coming from your grandmom, Miss Paula Scott. So, gentlemen, one of our listeners has written to us and said, good morning to you and your guests. Maybe a selling point would be to mention as many persons who are mentioned in the book, due to the fact that many of our younger generation have very little knowledge of their ancestors.
That's a wonderful question, O.C. In fact, I was thinking along the same lines, and when you purchase the book, you'll see on the back cover, I think it's showing on the screen at the moment, a collage of Caymanian, 100 years of Caymanian seamen. Not by any means all of them, okay? But we picked going over 100 years. And inside the back cover, these pictures are numbered, and you got the names of all the people. In those pictures are people like Captain Ali Ebanks, Kirkham Ebanks, Captain Marvin Ebanks, Mr. Clinton Whitaker, Mr. Samuel Powry, Shem Powry, Mr. Carly Ebanks, Mr. Frank Connolly, Mr. Isaac Mr. Paul Hurlstone, Mr. Theophilus Rich, Dilmore Connolly, John Jefferson Sr.,
and
Tom Diaz.
And of course, there's Boyd Powry, and there's Joseph H.E. Banks, and Captain Samuel Henning, and there's Thomas McDermott Bush, and Captain Tom Diaz, and of course Captain Gleason, and Captain Crosby Banks, who's still with us and who's still catboating and repairing. And in fact, I ran into him a few days ago. We had a big conversation on a boat that he's currently modifying and trying to rebuild.
And 90s, he's 90
and he's in his 90s. And of course, Frank Ebanks, Gleason, Crosby, Frank, and actually Mr. Joseph, they were all brothers, and they were all really deep into this seafaring tradition. Of course, Coleman Ebanks, Coleman. There's a story with Coleman and Cracker Jim, but I don't think we got time to that this morning. So as I said before, it's a great, and it's just I want to call it just a really good effort of trying to put the whole Cayman Islands maritime history in perspective. Yes. A good effort. There are probably another 40 books that could be produced this same size with 200 or 312 pages that would do justice to the importance of our seafaring tradition and what it meant to build a foundation to what has followed in modern times and today times.
One of our listeners wanted to know whether or not there's anything in the book about our regattas that they used to have in the Cayman Islands as well, and when did that tradition of having regattas, which was I think usually held on Easter Monday.
Easter regatta.
When did we lose that tradition of the regatta in the Cayman Islands? Anything in the book about that?
Yeah, the front cover actually is a picture of a regatta in 1935. A regatta that at the time had over 100 catboats.
Wow.
In it. Part of the problem with getting recorded, the history of regattas has really never been recorded. I actually have the program by the yacht club for this one in 1935 that my mother handed down to me. That's how I was able to get this information about the regattas. But we used to have regattas long before 35. Anytime there's two sails on the water, there's a race going on. Even if one guy don't realize it, the other guy is trying to beat him more or catch up with him. So, and there's no more competitive people than the captains we had here in the Cayman Islands.
Now we know that a lot of our history that was recorded is in Jamaica, and we know that Celebrate Cayman has done a tremendous amount of, as well as our archives. They have done a tremendous amount of research in Jamaica, and I wonder whether or not they have come across or they've looked about anything, because the Gleaner, the Jamaica Gleaner would have published things of that nature if there was a regatta or something like that taking place. Do you know if any research has been done in that area?
Yes, well, me myself did some of the research up here, and this is how the whole fair weather situation. There's a Caymanian built boat that is trying to be brought back to the island today, and in the 1920s, when the boat building industry died in Cayman for whatever reason, that it died out there. Some Caymanians moved to Kingston and set up the Cayman Boat Works.
Okay.
And they did the same thing up there, and they built this. One of the last boats that was ever built by Caymanians is a boat called the Fairweather, and there's a local organization, the one you mentioned, that is actually purchased her and is bringing her over back to the island. But that's how we found out about that. There's not a lot. I would have found like two regattas that that they mentioned what was happening in the Cayman. One of these was the 1935 one, which led me to the book my mom had given me many years before, which was, and it's like the only existing that I'm aware of, copy of this, that's there.
What's the title
they
of
gave
that?
it to it's just the Cayman Islands Yacht Club, their program for the 1935 regatta,
yes, yeah.
And we donated it to the National Archives, quite some time ago. And some of these pictures actually derived from that.
Now you mentioned bringing boats back. Why is it that we have always had to struggle? There was a struggle to get the Goldfield back, and then when we got the Goldfield back, then being the ability to really preserve it. Why is it that something that was the foundation of these islands, seafaring, shipbuilding, why is it that we have to struggle, with that to be able to resurrect, to be able to inform our populace and to have something to show them of, our past? Why is it that we always have to struggle for that to happen?
I'll start by quoting Caymanian that you remember, Mr. Dudley McLaughlin, that used to be at Delworth.
Yes,
I remember him telling a friend of mine from New York years and years ago, who was giving him advice. He said, "You come here from the mountain, try to tell me how to live in flat land." That's where it all went wrong. They didn't rely on the Caymanians to put the Goldfield together. It was a modern organization. They had it all worked out. It got here, I myself, and I certainly had other Caymanians that was so in love with this boat. When it sunk the first time at Canal Point, Mr. Rupert Moxon was there with a crane to lift it out and put it on the land. The lawyers involved with the organization just got pretty much a court order to stop us from touching it, because we were going to put it on somebody else's land. I would have worked all that out later. The boat needed to be on dry land. The people who were still around, who were knowledgeable, made that clear, and it was just allowed to just sit there, and the Torino worms just ate the whole boat. You can't find anything in the Goldfield if you go and dive where it was anymore. Wow. Not even a print.
Wow.
There's one piece of wood that I'm aware of from the Goldfield, besides some rigging that is somewhere in a warehouse around here that we can't seem to locate. Right, at the launch, you'll see a model of the Goldfield, and then there's a little piece of wood like a foot long. That was what we were able to dive up 20 years later. Today, there's nothing. That happened almost 20 years ago. Okay, and there's no sign that the gold field ever existed where it went down. Not even the engine has like rust and stuff down there.
That's
the
unfortunate.
North Sound has the Torino worms, and that's what happens to wooden boats, and it's just was such a pity,
If I might get back to what you said, why isn't this whole scenario taking more importance within the community? It is that I don't think that we really were sensitized enough to really value all of this history, when we were in school, though some of us were getting it by osmosis through our grandfathers, telling us about it. But it's only been, let's say, within the last 20 years that, people have beginning to think, hey, boy, Cayman has a history, and we need to get it to where the populace can be aware of it and can access it. I've said we're 150 years behind in recording our history. I just want to jump back to the regatta one little bit here. Jerry's mentioned catboats, but the regattas was also with the big sailing ships, the Adams, the Goldfield, and the Rembrandt, and all of these. And in fact, the commissioner at the time, I'm not sure whether it was Cardinal or Hearst. I believe it might have been Hearst, 1939. They were in the process of arranging an Atlantic Cayman schooner race. Of course, you know what happened in 1939. The war came along and everything got washed out. But the Cayman Regatta was on the verge of getting international recognition as a sailing entity, worldwide sailing entity. And of course, on the big boats, the big schooners, it was a big prize to get on one of those regatta trips, and quite a number of the ladies and young ladies, went along on those regatta runs. In fact, I had the privilege of speaking with a few of them over the years, and actually, Lady Rita, blessed memory, she was on the Goldfield on one of those runs.
Okay.
Yes, and she told me, Uncle Reginald, of course, was her uncle, and she told me, about the whole trip, and it really was, but it was a fun time for them, And getting back to the Catboat, was an integral working, living thing that was basic to all our work. But
that was the workhorse of the turtling industry.
Up until the mid-50s, when the pickup trucks started to come to Cayman. The Catboat was the pickup truck of the Cayman Islands, but it was used Catboat for recreation. And those of you looking viewing on YouTube, you might see an image up there on your screen now of catboating, a catboat full of, I think there's quite a number of ladies there and boys and men, and it was, and I guess Jerry's probably went through this whole thing with the catboat. One of our recreation when I was growing up, one of our recreational activities with the catboat was to turn it upside down on the water. Okay, now if you could turn it quick enough on the water, it would float upside down, but right up at the keel, the bottom of it, there was an air pocket, and we used to hook and dive down under this catboat and go up and stay up in this air pocket for the longest. Yeah. And sometimes, I remember one time, with half a dozen of us, we all went at the same time, and to my mind, I said, this is not going to work. There's too many people here. And I got out of it quickly, and most of them came back out quickly because you use that air up pretty quick.
Okay, we have to take a commercial break, folks. The conversation with Mr. Lox LeBanks and Mr. Jairus Miller will continue after this short commercial break, so please stay tuned.
Oh!
Are you ready for a midsummer miracle? Get ready for the Christmas in July sale at Tortuga and discount retail stores. All July, Tortuga is bringing exclusive Red Dot deals in store. Discover incredible savings on selected items that will make your summer merrier. But hurry, the Red Dot deal is available while stock lasts during regular store trading hours. Don't miss the once-in-a-summertime offer to save on your favorite beverages and more with Christmas in July. Visit a Tortuga and discount retail stores near you.
It's a 24-karat summer with Digicel. In honor of our first truly COVID-free summer, Digicel is giving away $24,000. Be one of 10 to win $2,400 this July. For a chance to win, all you have to do is switch to Digicel, activate a Prime bundle, or simply pay your bill on time. It's that easy. It takes 2 minutes to get $2,400 richer. Make the choice to win today and visit a Digicel store near you.
Health behaviours and lifestyle choices such as diet and smoking can be risk factors for non-communicable diseases. The STEPS 2023 National Health Survey will allow the Ministry of Health and Wellness to gather important data on the health of the nation, including these risk factors. This information will inform our plans for the health needs of Cayman's residents, allowing us to better serve our population. Learn more by logging on to www.gov.ky/STEPS.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
105.3 Breeze FM live. Now it's an Man Bushman represented for 105.3 Breeze FM.
Hey, this is DJ Lynn. Join me Sundays from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Breeze 105.3 for Beach and Reggae Sundays. Whether you're out in a boat, in the backyard, or simply on the beach catching some sun, it's the perfect way to unwind for the weekend as the sun sets on our beautiful Caribbean Sea. Join us this Sunday from 2 p.m. on Breeze 105.3 Beach and Reggae Sundays. Brought to you by Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your non-stop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Healthcare Pharmacy, located in Governor Square and Grand Harbor. Open Sundays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
So much happening, so fast, too much. It is hard for me to follow my healthcare instructions. The private counseling with West Bay Pharmacy literally saved my life.
At West Bay Pharmacy, we know how complex medications can be. Our pharmacists are delighted to offer you personalized one-on-one healthcare counseling, free medication review, therapeutic callbacks, and we will liaise with your physician to ensure you receive the best in quality medical care.
Quality of life has a whole new meaning with the right pharmacy to support you. Thank you, West Bay Pharmacy.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner. Now you can WhatsApp your West Bay Pharmacy prescriptions to 516-0777.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have about 9 minutes left because we have other guests in the studio. We have one caller. We're going to take that caller as well. But one of our listeners wrote us well in to say that they found this exceptionally interesting and personally believe that this should be an incentive to some Caymanians. And to point out that Miss Andrea Christian is the first Caymanian woman with a master's degree in maritime law. She was inspired by her late grandfather, Mr. Andrew Powery, as well. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. For the Record.
Good morning, Doc. How are you?
Fine, and good morning to your guests.
Good morning.
Morning, Frank.
I'm only sorry I'm not there to hug them because if you could multiply them by 20 or 50, I think you would be on the right road. So see, I just wish I could multiply people, and I would multiply you people. I would clone you guys.
Well, it would be reciprocal.
Yeah, and And in reflection to your why question, we've lost that history the same way that they took Emancipation Day out of our history. What we did is that certain people came here, and they felt that our history was so inferior that it was not relevant to them. And in order for us to get the money that they were bringing, we did whatever they asked us to do, and so we abandoned our history for them, and then we thought that we were one of them. They made us believe that we were one of them, and then after they got what they wanted, they got country economic and cultural control, then they rejected us, all of us, every one of us. We rejected, and then now we had to turn back to our history because we realized that our history was a great thing. We have a great history. We have a history that's unique, really. No other people in the world share a similar history to the one we share, where we came from nothing. Like as you guys said, from men struggling on the quay, and then the ancestors of those men were the ones who laid the foundation for all of the wealth that they have today, because they were the ones who planted, who laid the foundation for this financial services in providing service from and in the Cayman Islands to make money for those people, and that is the problem. Now, I wish you guys would consider a Goldfield 2 Foundation. We could raise funds to build a second goldfield, and I was speaking many times to Mr. Heber Arch from the Arch's family, who actually built the goldfield, and Mr. Bernard Watler, the descendants of Mr. Conrad Watler, who owned the goldfield and the gold medal and the Klondike. Whether that would be possible and whether they would support it, using their family's schooner's name, and they said, yeah. The problem that Heber said, it would, because of the lack of craftsmanship in the Cayman Islands today, that we have lost that also, that it would be costly to do so, and maybe we should get it done in Newfoundland, where the schooner building capital of Canada. It would be much cheaper and much faster to get done. What do you guys think about that?
Okay, Doc, we're going to have them answer your question, and then we're going to go to our closing comments, right after that as well.
I defer with that resolution, and that is where the expertise is today. But we have the Gwen Bush Memorial Scholarship. We've sent 3 young Caymanians to Newport, to New England, to learn the craft of old shipbuilding using 100-year-old ships. So I think we need, rather than going there, we need to get the people trained, and we need to build this boat in Cayman. But there's a lot of legal things surrounding the name Goldfield, and quite frankly, I don't want to touch it. But we should certainly be getting ready to build a schooner in the Cayman Islands. Just to let you know, I worked with Dr. Bill Haruda, who did the model for the Goldfield that is at the Turtle Center, and we did research where we took passports to find out the height of people, because there's no plans for any boat that was ever built in the Cayman Islands. They were built from half models, and we have that computerized at the moment. And he's passed on. He did leave it with me, and we hope to develop that. Okay, we brought it down to do 2-foot ones, and we did classes, and that worked out perfectly. So you can scale it up to the size of the Goldfield. So the Cayman Maritime Heritage Foundation is going. I love everything you just said, but I differ in terms of we should build a boat somewhere else. And the problem that we had here is exactly what you said. We made people come from the mountains to tell us how to live on flatland, and we knew better.
Okay, I want to thank Doc for that. We have about 2.5 minutes left, gentlemen. Want to give you an opportunity for some closing comments. And one of our listeners has written and said, please announce that the book is also available for sale at More Than Words, located on the 2nd floor of the Thompson Building. And of course, More Than Words, they're one of our proud sponsors of the birthday shout out on For the Record as well. Gentlemen, over to both of you for some closing comments.
Absolutely, and thank you for carrying the book. We're going to promote it a little more after the launch. We're pre-launch, but we're glad to get that information out there. You can purchase the book online, and for a small fee, she'll actually deliver it to you in Georgetown. So you can go online and purchase it. So yes, thank you.
And I think based on the numbers that you've said, I believe that you're going to have to start doing another printing soon, because those are going to go fairly quickly. Christmas is coming up as well, and it would be a wonderful Christmas gift.
We were limited by the amount of money we had for printing. That's why there's 1,000. Yes. We would have done 10,000 if we had funds to cover it, but the funds that we were given for printing only covered 1,000.
I think you're going to need those 10,000. I hope to.
I hope so too, but that's where we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just to mention here, I think we've got 100 hardcover coming soon, right?
Well, if the funding
it's a great book, 312 pages, lots of stories, authentic stories from people who lived it and told about it, and it'll be a great Christmas present. And the launching of the book is a week from this coming Saturday at the Turtle Center, and you can get yours there. And you'll be hearing more about the history of turtlers, schooners, of the Cayman Islands and the old salties. And before I go, I think we want to mention here that Captain Kem
Jackson,
played such a vital role in keeping this catboat thing and these things alive. And actually, Captain Crosby and he's and there was a lot of course, we mentioned Jerris and Susie and all that was involved in getting this book to print to where you can see it and feel it and read it and enjoy it.
Okay. And, how much would the assistance, if all of these, this 1,000 copies are sold, how much would that contribute or help in terms of reprinting?
The finances on this one. This book cost me over $115,000. I sell it for $45 with 1,000 copies. You do the math.
Yes,
okay?
They
don't pay for anything.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
But it's important that this history gets out, and that's why I did what I did. And they took the effort, but we did it. And
you'll have to find the funding for the rest. I would have to charge
$150 a copy to get near to recouping. So
there was a lot of community involvement in getting this thing to.
Okay. Yeah. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much. It's been extremely enlightening. We know that the launch will go well. These books. This book is going to sell extremely quickly, as well. All the best. It's been a pleasure having you on as well. Folks, please stay tuned. When we return, we have additional guests in the studio. So, for the record, we'll be back shortly.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Are you ready for a midsummer miracle? Get ready for the Christmas in July sale at Tortuga and discount retail stores. All July, Tortuga is bringing exclusive Red Dot deals in store. Discover incredible savings on selected items that will make your summer merrier. But hurry, the Red Dot deal is available while stock lasts during regular store trading hours. Don't miss the once in a summertime offer to save on your favorite beverages and more with Christmas in July. Visit a Tortuga and discount retail stores near you.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. This summer, I going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline. Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, and now Panama. Going to be a little cat Cafe con Leche and Hollywood Squares for this old girl this summer.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
The Commission for Standards in Public Life reminds all persons subject to the Standards in Public Life Act that the Register of Interests portal is now accepting declaration submissions.
All annual declarations are due on the 30th of July.
If you need assistance to complete your declaration, the Commission for Standards in Public Life has a new tutorial video available to provide further guidance. Visit www.standardsinpubliclifecommission.ky/register of interest to view the tutorial video today.
Another fun day on good old 7 Mile Beach. Now let me check. I have sunscreen, music, water, woolen cheese, grapes, swanky, towel. Towel? I forgot my towel at home. Oh no!
Girl, you talking to yourself again? But I thought I just heard you say that you forgot your towel at home. Look, just run down to Super Stitch Sewing and Fabric Center at shop number 39, Pasador Place on Smith Road, and pick one up. I hear they have lots of beach towels for just $7. They used to be at $14, but now Miss Monica knows selling them for half price.
Maxine, you're a rock star. Keep my spot, child. I soon come back.
Yes, you try call Super Stitch right now. 949-2833.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We will be talking about another important topic this morning, and it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me none other than the Honorable Kenneth Bryan, Minister with responsibility for tourism and transport, in the studio with me, and some of his support staff as well. I'm going to pass the mic over to the Minister, and he can introduce the topic as well as introduce his staff who he's brought along with him as well. Minister, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC, and good morning to Miss Susan in the back, and good morning to the listening audience. It's a pleasure to be on here this morning. I'm really excited about this morning's discussion. And I also have with me in the studio Mr. Patrick Thompson, who is the director of CINA, which is, I know it sounds weird, but it's the new authority, better known as TAB, Tourism Attraction Board, which is now formally been changed over to the Cayman Islands National Attractions Authority. So we're here today to talk about a summer camp that I, as Minister, thought would be important for us to do as a result of our commitment to dealing with tourism amongst our young people. For many, many years now, we are constantly talking about, not rightfully so, talking about making sure that Caymanians are in the tourism product. And tourism is a skill set and a career that you have to build the knowledge and information about how important tourism is to our whole society, what type of things we do in tourism, what kind of careers are there, and so forth. So we believe, through my ministry and myself, that if we started doing an annual camp, whereby we talk to young people from young ages before they leave school, they can start to fall in love with the amazing things that you can find within tourism and the amazing things you can do on behalf of your country through tourism. And as a result, I found the appropriate savings within my budget to sponsor this camp. And today we're going to be talking about, we've already sent it out without doing much marketing, and it's almost full. I have Mr. Patrick Thompson here, who's the director, who's going to tell you a little bit more about the camp, because there are still some spots available. So I'll pass it over to Patrick to tell the public a little bit more about that.
Thank you, Minister. Good morning again.
Good morning, Mr. Thompson. Welcome to For the Record.
Yes, thank you, sir. And of course to Miss Susan in the back, good friend of mine. It's a pleasure to be here. And I have to start with just talking about the vision of the minister, which is tremendous to begin with. It's all about getting the youth involved in tourism from early, and we have to recognize how important tourism is. As you know, it's one of the twin pillars of economic development in the Cayman Islands, and so it is right for us to get the youth involved early, and just to teach them. This is an opportunity to teach them that there are many great careers in the tourism industry, and most jobs in the tourism industry offers a great opportunity for professional growth. So we have to ensure that our children are in pole position, OC, to fill the vacancies in these key industries. And how better to ensure this than to expose them from early to the industry in a fun-filled way. And this is what the Tourism Ambassador Camp is all about. When the minister came up with the idea, like I said, it was a great idea, and we jumped on it as quickly as possible to get individuals involved, get the coordinators, get counselors involved. And this camp is offered to 200 kids over a 4-week period, beginning on July 10th, and it's ending on August 4th. The first 2 weeks of the camp, OC, will cover age groups 7 to 11, and that's now fully booked. We can't take any more kids that are 7 to 11, but we do have some spaces left for kids who are between the ages of 12 to 17. The week 3 is about 75% booked, and week 4 is about 25% booked at this time. If people are interested, they could go to the Facebook page for CINAA, CINAA.KY. Go to our website as well. The Botanic Park, the ad is on the Botanic Park page as well, Facebook page, and also the Peter St. James page. And the Ministry of Tourism and Ports, if you go to that Facebook page as well, it'll be there. It's a very simple flyer with a QR code on there. When they scan the QR code, or if they click on the there's a little link there to click on as well, and it takes you automatically to a web page which allows you to fill out an online form. So it's very easy to get registered. And
of course the age group that you're catering to, they well technically advanced, so it shouldn't be any problem to them at all.
Absolutely. They'll say, "Mommy, you don't have to do this. I'll take the wheel on this one and get it done." And remember, just to let everybody know, if you're coming to the camp, it's free lunch. Transportation will be provided for those who may be coming from town. The drop-off point will be at the Lion Center. They have been so gracious to us to accommodate us. They say, "Here's the key to our gates. You could come here with the buses to get the kids out to the eastern districts," because the first 2 days of the camp will be at the Botanic Park. So that's on Monday and on Tuesday. They'll be at the Botanic Park. They'll learn about a little bit of horticulture, look at how we plant trees, because that's important in terms of sustainability, which is something that the minister is big on as well. And we want to ensure that kids are introduced at an early age how to plant trees, how to plant even some tomatoes and some little spices or whatever we could use. And again, from a standpoint of agriculture, I know the minister who is responsible for that is moving in that direction to ensure that more crops are grown locally and so on. So we have them out there to do that. And of course, we have our fantastic children's garden out at the Botanic Park, which they're going to get an opportunity to have some playtime as well out there, going to the observation tower, the splash pad, all the good stuff. But in addition to that, more recently, we introduced a pretty much 2-for-1 admission. When you go to the Botanic Park now, you're able to go as well to the Blue Iguana Conservation Facility. It's all in one price. So the tour, this particular, there will be a particular tour for the kids, for the teens, to go and learn some more about the Blue Iguana facility as well. So that will be something that's quite useful. So all of these areas are related to the tourism field. But once we get our kids exposed to all of these areas and they have a love for it, we notice that we're not tourist attractions anymore, or the tourism attractions board, but we're the National Attractions Authority. What does that really mean? We're talking about ownership. The people own these attractions. It is now for us to preserve them, care for them, do what we can to make sure that they're sustained, maintained over a long period, and then we say to tourists, we're sharing them with you.
Mm-hmm.
They're not for you. They weren't built for you, unfortunately. Built for us. This is for the people, but we're sharing. And once we have that buy-in for the people, before someone gets out of the airport, they'll hear from a taxi driver or somebody else about the wonderful attractions that the people have, the people own. So yes, you can go and see it. I could take you there. And so we have not only tour guides telling the story, but everyone, someone you meet in a restaurant, anywhere at all you meet them, just on the beach, they'll tell you about the wonderful attractions that we have here. I don't want to take up so much time, but I want to hand over back to the minister.
But there may be some more reminders that you did we speak about what they should bring along with them?
I was just about to tap into that.
Yes.
So,
Okay, Minister, go ahead then.
Noting that there will be people who want to take part with the spaces that are left. I must say I'm very happy with the responses once we announced it, and recognizing that there are people out there who may not be technology inclined, that there is a number they can call. That's 949-6999. That is 949-6999. And the persons on the other side of the phone can basically help guide you as to how to get it done. Obviously, there's security measures that need to be taken in place because we have the responsibility of your children in our hands, and waivers that need to be signed. So those things need to be dealt with before the kids are signed up. And again, it is totally free, right? So my ministry is paying for the whole thing, so you don't have to worry about that. Mm-hmm. The other part in respect to some of the things you heard the director speak about when you talk about agriculture and so forth. So how does agriculture connect to tourism? As you heard many times in our marketing efforts, we talk about Cayman being the culinary capital of the Caribbean. So you have to know the foods that we eat, how to grow and how to use those things that we cook and eat, particularly with our fish life and other kind of meats that we consume. So you connect the environment upon which people come here to see with what we do, our way of life. And culture has been a major component of this, because when you think about tourism and what you're selling the Cayman Islands and its people and what they do, what they eat, what they drink, how they dance, how they dress. And all of these attraction locations gives us a good foundation of who Cayman is. There's a story to be told in all of those. So we're trying to mix that fun and opportunity so the kids can fall in love with it, and then later on be spirited to say, I'm in love with something, let me be the storyteller of giving other persons the experience. So that's a strategy here, and it's also an element of getting Caymanian, our children, to be vested into what we are. Every child should know the details that they're going to learn at this camp. I wish I had more money in it so I can do it a lot larger, but this is the first year. I'm going to try to insist that in the next budget that we can do it possibly for 500 children, because if we're going to be committed to making sure Caymanians stay in the tourism product, because who else better to sell our product than our people, we will get that. But I know we have to go to a break. And
we're going to go right through our break up until 5 minutes to before we go to the news.
Okay.
So I know we were trying to work something else out, but this is how it has worked out. Before, Minister, one of our listeners wanted to know whether or not, other than the age requirements, are there any other requirements in terms of the children? Do they have to be Caymanian?
I'll let the director respond to that part, but I want to note the thing that you asked me first, which is what kind of things they're going to need if they do sign up, which is all campers must bring sunscreen, because you're going to be out in the environment, and we want to make sure that nobody gets sunburn in any way. Obviously, you need a hat. Times are really, really hot now. We want to protect our children. Sneakers, because we don't want flip-flops and so forth, because we may be in what we call the Cayman jungle, learning what's your vegetation. You're going to be on the beach sometimes. You're going to be at the turtle center, so you want to wear proper sneakers. You need to be hydrated, so you need a water bottle because we want to be environmentally friendly. So we want you to bring a reusable water bottle so we can fill it back up. You need swimwear because we're going to get wet. We're going to have a little fun. It's not only about only learning, because you want to make learning fun for the children, right? Towels, little snacks if you want from a perspective of a parent. Your kids may have certain dietary needs. In the form that you fill out, there's also questions in respect to that. But if you want to send your child a little something next, because you know you send like a little candy bar now and then or something like that, you send it with him or her. So snacks is appreciated. Lunch will be provided free of cost. The whole thing is free of cost. But anything else that you think that would make your child comfortable, to make them happy, because we want them to fall in love with this process. So I'll ask the director to answer the second question.
Mr. Thompson, over to you.
Yes. So we didn't stipulate any requirements, but what we did, we wanted to ensure that the schools were first notified of, or we gave them the flyers, and then we asked them to distribute. And so who have registered, the folks that have registered already came from that pool, or those individuals that we've sent it out to. But we don't have any restrictions, so just submit the information online, or if you can't do it online, call, as the minister said earlier, and then we'll see how we could fit you.
So there's no restrictions from a Caymanian to a resident perspective.
Okay.
But I just want to make sure it's clear. Nobody can just come here on work permit and then say send their child on work permit here, because this is for the local community.
Because we do have many students who come here for the summer to join their parents. Yeah.
It is focused on those who are part of our community. By all means, we love all children. But we have to provide for those who have a limitation. So I know some people would say, well, this should be for Caymanians only. But some of these residents will become Caymanian eventually, particularly with residents who have children. Eventually, they're going to become Caymanian. This is their permanent residence already. So I want to make sure that that's clear, because their sensitivity is there. And we want to make sure we build a generation of people who are willing to promote what we are and learn that. Sometimes we will say, well, boy, this child isn't generational Caymanian. But there are many what we would call first generation Caymanians who are indulged and know our history greater than some of those who are generational Caymanians, because they put the time and effort in learning what our forefathers have done, what the hardships that we've gone through to get to where we are. Like, say, for instance, a gentleman who was on the radio earlier before we came on. So when you buy into that, we are proud that people are willing to understand it, love it, appreciate it, and promote it. And those, particularly, even if your parents wasn't originally from the Cayman Islands, this is your home. We want when people embrace that. So that was the perspective from there, from opening up to permanent residents and Caymanians alike. OC, this tourism ambassador summer camp is solely about keeping the commitment to our second major pillar. We know that at any point in time, financial services can disappear. One thing I don't think will ever disappear, unless for some reason connectivity to the country is limited, is tourism, because tourism is Cayman. Tourism is Caymanians. Tourism is our environment. Tourism is who we are, what we listen to, what we eat, what we drink, what our history is. Tourism is us. So they can't take that away from us, even though sometimes you question that, right? But we'll always forever have that as an asset to promote and to encourage people to visit, which brings in economic value and job opportunities for our country. So we have to double down and invest in that more. I hope that we can do not only on summertime, but have programs where during the school break, sometimes, you got midterm break, keep the kids having positive things to do. And then obviously ministers will have other camps going on, like the Minister of Sports will have sports camps. I think agriculture is doing a sports camp, not a sports camp, a camp. So, and then private sector will do theirs. This is the Ministry of Tourism making sure that we are keeping our young people involved. Next year, you'll see a lot more connectivity in the schools about tourism to make sure we get to the younger generation. Derek, I don't know if you want to add any more.
And can we talk a little bit more about the facilitators of this? Since this is your first time doing this, it's interesting to know the facilitators, who they will be, and
right. So we're working with Turtle Center, as you know. Yeah. We're starting off at the Botanic Park for the first 2 days, Peter St. James for the next 2 days, and the last day is at the Turtle Center. We have 10 counselors who will be working with 50 kids per week. Okay. So the ratio is pretty good. So parents can be, feel really good that their kids will be safe. And we're talking about people who are trained, people who are teachers, people who work with ministry in churches, with youth groups, that kind of thing. So we have that down pat. But most importantly, we have tailored the Pride certification, a Pride training that DOT has done. Of course, we know Pride means personal responsibility in delivering excellence, and DOT has done such a wonderful job in training Caymanians who are in the tourism industry. And once you're Pride certified, it's like a seal of approval to say, yes, you can really deliver what needs to be delivered to the guests who come to our island. So we've tailored that now, or they've tailored it and given that to the Cayman Islands National Attractions Authority to now present. We have that wonderful room up at Peter St. James, the theatre, which we're going to use that room as an area to present these different DOT presentations. And when we talk about we're talking about things like Know Your Cayman Islands, the facts about the Cayman roots and culture. We want the kids to know this, have this embedded. Yes, they come there for school trips, but they come and spend maybe a quick 20 minutes. But we want to take this opportunity to make these presentations, get it in from early, and then even do some scavenger hunts and that kind of thing, because you can't just use the typical training by just having presentations, but let them find stuff on the side. Let them do things at respective sites. So we have our own tour guides who are going to be a part of it. We have the teachers. We have individuals from DOT who have spent the time to put the presentations together to a point and hand it over to our facilitators. And they're meeting and coordinating and getting everything. I even heard some good news this morning that their minister, they're trying to do a little theme song. So when they go on the buses,
I like it. I like it.
Theme song first. So let's see what the teachers come up with for these kids, and who knows, maybe that will be one of those things that we'll use over and over for the years to come.
Excellent. Okay, I'm going to interrupt you there, because what we're going to do now is we're going to take the break now. Am I told, Miss Susan? Or we go till 10. We're going to go straight through till 10, and then... Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go until 10, then we're going to have the news headlines at 10 o'clock, and then we're going to come back with you for another 5 minutes after that. Sorry about that, Patrick. I just wanted to get that straight.
No problem. But there are just so many different activities that are there. Rope and thatch making, arts and crafts, tree planting, nursery tour, snorkel and water slide at the Turtle Center, butterfly house tour, educational presentations, and just so much more. And Minister,
I just want to add that because naturally, if a person just hears some of those things, you say to yourself, well, what are they related to tourism? So we have two different age brackets. We have 7 to 11, and then you have 12 to 17. So you can see that there's educational capabilities are different. And you have the younger kids, you want to make sure that you entertain them, make sure it's fun. So you'll see a little bit more, arts and crafts, water and snorkeling, funner things to make them fall in love. So the next time, as they grow older and this camp continues, they'll get more into the other things. At the end, you heard the director talk about educational presentations. So there's going to be a level of education for the older kids who can consume the information in a more practical and theoretical way. So talking about numbers of tourism, why is it important? How much money do we make? How many Caymanians live and work off of this? And build the importance within their mind of why this is valuable and why participating in it is important, not only to yourself, but to your whole community. So that's why you see the variety of things. So you say, well, okay, how are we trying to teach them about tourism by going on a water slide? A water slide opportunity for a kid that is 8 years old, embracing it and then learning something about how important the turtle is to our tourism product coincides with each other. So we're trying to develop fun, love, and then education, so that when a tourist see a Caymanian on the street who's gone through a summer camp like this, they can say, yeah, I know all the history about what's going on. I know why tourism is important. I know why Caymanians go, oh, how are you doing today? Let me open the door for you in the morning. That's what became Cayman as to be one of the best Caribbean islands in the world. It's because our mannerisms and who we are and knowing who we are helps us to be better ambassadors. And regardless of whether you are in tourism or not, every person is an ambassador for tourism. Like last night, I'll give you an example quickly. I was driving down the road. Unfortunately, we had a few robberies last night, so I got into my car with some of my political advisors, and we were driving around. And I was trying to find out where the location of this thing happened to make sure everybody's okay. Obviously, I'm the representative for Georgetown Central and the greater Georgetown area. And I was driving right before Marriott. And then, the stop lights where part they blink and make people stop. And there was this this group of 4 women. And one of the drivers just drove straight through the light. And I was so mad. And I was sitting on the other side of the street, and I had to wind my window down. I said, ladies, I do apologize that you had to go through that. That's not the Caymanian way. I hope you really enjoy your vacation. And she said, oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And because we were so close to the Marriott, I said, you know what, let me drive in. I drove in, went to the front desk, and I called the manager and said, listen, I don't want them to have that kind of experience here. Can you give them breakfast on me? Just to make sure that they don't. You have to replace that negative thing with something positive,
yes.
And I didn't tell them who I was first, but the front desk told them, and then she's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe the minister did this," But these little small things is what made Cayman so special. We go, why is this person opening the door for me? Why is somebody giving me a ride? Why are they stopping in the middle of the road? These little small details. And I want our kids to remember that, because that's the difference between Cayman and Bahamas or any other country, because we all have beaches, we all have environments where marine life and diving and water sports. What makes the difference is who we are as a people. So that's what we're trying to teach our kids while having fun and being proud of it, regardless if you end up in tourism or if you don't. So I think that we can reiterate this for those when they come back on, for the contact information, the age brackets, because there are still a lot of room left. I think we're about 70% full. So we want to, it's going to get filled up quick. So I encourage you that if you are interested for your kid or a grandchild or a nephew or a niece, to call today, because it's all free and it's probably going to get filled up. So when we come back from the break, I'll give you all the details for contact.
Okay, folks, top of the hour. Headline news at 10 o'clock. When we return, we'll have another 5 minutes with Minister Brian and Mr. Patrick Thompson. So please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Health Services Authority.
The Royal Cayman Islands Police Service tells Radio Cayman there were 2 attempted robberies overnight and 1 armed robbery reported. Police are investigating. Make sure to keep it locked to Radio Cayman as we follow this developing story. Twitter is considering legal action against Meta over its fast-growing rival app, Threads. Threads, which was launched to millions on Wednesday, is similar to Twitter and has been pitched by Meta bosses as a, quote, friendly alternative. Twitter's Elon Musk said, quote, competition is fine, cheating is not. But Meta denied claims in a legal letter that ex-Twitter staff helped create Threads. More than 30 million people have signed up for the new app, according to Meta. And U.S. jobs growth slowed last month in a sign that the weight of higher interest rates may be starting to slow the world's largest economy. Employers added 209 jobs in June, the smallest gain in more than 2 years, according to the Labor Department. That was fewer than expected, although the unemployment rate still fell to 3.6%, down from 3.7% in May. The labor market is being watched closely as the U.S. Central Bank lifts borrowing costs to fight inflation. Those are your headlines. I'm Carson Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
The Headline News are brought to you by Health Services Authority.
It's one of the best moments of your life when you welcome your baby into the world. The HSA's experienced women's health and maternity team provides the highest quality of care throughout your pregnancy and delivery. As a JCI accredited hospital, we are the leader in maternal care, safely delivering over 700 babies annually. Visit hsa.ky for more information. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you. For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the Record with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show this morning with Minister Kenneth Bryan, who has responsibility for tourism and ports, and Mr. Patrick Thompson, who is the director of the new tourism authority as well. I won't even try to say his name, but I want to give you opportunity for some closing comments as well.
OC, before I just let
the
director wrap it all up, I think that, boy, we could have, I'm going to have to try to find something else other than SINA for the acronym. But we'll deal with that another time because it is now the Cayman Islands National Attractions Authority, which I will come back on with the director and the new board once I finalize the appointments to talk about what does this transition mean, because we're talking about taking over some other national attractions out there, because it's no longer the Tourism Attraction Board that deals with Pedro St. James, Turtle Center, Hell Location, Craft Market. We want to expand that heavily, but we'll go into that another time. I want to tell the public, I recognize that, this is going to be limited. I knew it was going to be wanted heavily once it came out, particularly because the government is offering it for free. But because it wasn't budgeted for, I had to find the savings. Like, this is over $80,000 worth of savings I had to find for this. But I intend to try to have it a lot heavier, because this has to be something we are committed to constantly all the time. And I'm putting the request in from my colleagues to have a certain allocations for specifically that continuation of young people, whereby we can add, maybe another 100 to the list per year, because per kid is expensive. When a government puts on a camp, particularly when you're doing free, you got to deal with all the costs for travel, food. All the educators have to be high quality. It can't be like no volunteer. You know what I'm saying? All of these things are going to be costing the government a lot more than maybe somebody who's doing it non-profit. So we recognize that when we sent out the flyer early, they first set, which deals with the younger kids from July the 10th to the 21st, which age brackets from 7 to 11, they got filled up really fast.
Okay.
So the space that we have available right now, and director, correct me if I go wrong here, obviously the team deals with it directly, is the age bracket from 12 to 17 is what's left. And it's from the July the 24th to the 4th of August. So that's the 2-week period for the older kids. And I really want that to be filled, because those kids in that bracket are the next set of generations that are coming that we need immediately. Now, of course, the 7 to 11 is important, but if you think about them being in the workforce, out in the community independently from themselves, you're talking about another 10 years, average of 10 years, right? 8 to 10 years. So we really want to make sure we fill the rest of the spots available from the 12 to 17 years old. And I can promise you, it's not going to be lame and boring, because sometimes telling a 15-year-old to go to a camp, they'll be like, I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? But I just hope that you can convince them. Even if you want me to talk to them directly, I'll be happy to tell them it's going to be fun. They're going to learn a lot, and I want to be there for the first couple of days to encourage, particularly the younger ones on the 24th, about the importance of why I'm depending on them and the country is depending on them. But with that being said, I want to ask the director to recap again how to get in contact if you want to be involved in how many spaces we got left? About 30?
We have about 30 spaces left,
yeah,
yes.
Okay.
And like the minister said, we're focused on the age group 12 through 17. And we want you to sign up as early as possible. We don't want to hear that you didn't get an opportunity to sign up. So you do go to the website, go to our Facebook pages, the ministry's Facebook page, Ministry of Tourism and Ports, the Facebook page of the Botanic Park, Peter St. James, it's all there, and the Cayman Islands National Attractions Authority. I'm not going to call it SINA. I'm going to call it SINA. But obviously, if we had done it the other way, it would be another acronym that I wouldn't want because it would be National Attractions Authority of the Cayman Islands. So you pronounce that. I'm not going to pronounce that, but that's a bad one too.
Okay.
But we'll go with SINA. Okay. But remember, we're doing this camp for 4 weeks, beginning on Monday, July 11th. Like I said before, the age group was 7 to 11 for the first 2 weeks. That's all filled up. So we have no more spaces there. Free lunch. You're going to be at Peter St. James. You're going to be at the Botanic Park and the Turtle Center. Lots of things to learn about tourism. So it is just the place you need to get your kids to. Remember, registration closes on the 14th of July, but you have to get in as soon as possible. Telephone number to call, 949-6999, or if you want to just email us, there's an email address, cinasummercamp@gmail.com. CINAA summercamp@gmail.com. Okay. So everything that's there.
Excellent.
And for you to come in.
Minister, I know you want to have a quick word before we go.
I want to first say thank you to the team here at Radio Cayman for allowing us to go over a little bit. Much appreciated. I think it's important that as minister, as well as a representative of Georgetown, that I let the public know that we are fully aware of, unfortunately, there was a number of robberies last night again, and there are concerns out there about the crime situation. It'd be inappropriate of me to come on the radio and not pretend like this is not something of concern for the public. So I want you to know that we're aware there are discussions happening behind the scenes with the authorities. As you know, the police department falls under the governor's responsibility. But by all means, that doesn't mean that we as elected government don't play our part. Obviously, we give our full commitment to the funding necessary to police the country, but there's other things that need to be done. So I'm quite sure you'll hear more from the government in the near future, but also to say that myself, as a representative for Georgetown Central, and the Honorable Minister Turner for the Prospect area have decided, even before these robberies actually happened, that we were going to have a public meeting on crime in the Georgetown area. And that will be Thursday at 7 p.m. at the Georgetown Town Hall, now known as the Constitutional Hall. And we invite everybody from all of Georgetown, and we are also going to be inviting the opposition, because this is not one of those things that should be political. We all want to find solutions together, and I would encourage the leader of opposition and all those who represent the Georgetown area to come along to the meeting so you can express your concerns to the police, because the police will have their representatives there to answer any questions, find out what they're doing. Are they implementing any new strategies? It's really for the police to come and talk to the public, and we're facilitating it.
Excellent. Folks, gentlemen, have a great weekend. Thanks for being on as well, folks. Have a great weekend. Please stay safe, and join Sterling Dwayne Ebanks or Catherine Miller, who will be filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks at 12:15 for Talk Today as well. God bless. Have a great weekend.
What exactly are the STEPS in the STEPS 2023 National Health Survey? Step 1 is a questionnaire where you'll be asked about your health behaviors and lifestyle choices. Step 2 involves home measurements like height, weight, and blood pressure. Lastly, Step 3 is a finger prick blood sample for cholesterol and glucose. STEPS 2023 starts on June 3rd. Learn more by logging on to www.gov.ky/steps.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN money transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
This Saturday, July 8th at 4 p.m., come out to the It's Time Praise Gospel Concert at the Georgetown Seventh-day Adventist Church on Smith Road, beside the hospital, featuring Tanique Dunbar, Stephanie Graham, Nicola Williams, Keela Woods, Carol Robinson, Touch of Faith, the Celestines, along with Clyde Kane, O'Neill Duncan, Lincoln Charles, and many more. Get ready to praise. Admission free of cost. See you there. West Bay Pharmacy, personalized medicine, customized care to meet your specific needs. Your body is unique to you. Your medicine should be too. Whether you're seeking individual-specific medication, correct size dosages, or simply better tasting medicine, ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about how compounding at West Bay Pharmacy can increase your treatment options, not only for your family, but for your pets too. West Bay Pharmacy, open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sundays and most holidays from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Coca-Cola. Available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery. Inspiring luxury. And JN Money. From abroad to yard. Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066. And by the STEPS 2023 National Health Survey. Visit gov.ky/steps to learn more. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network.
Here is where tradition never dies. This is your radio.